Child, y'all better buckle up for this one because Aubrey O'Day just spilled the tea about the real reason Rihanna dipped from the industry, and it turns out it had to do with Diddy all along. Apparently, the rumors about JayZ forcing her to sleep with him were true, and he allegedly passed her off to Diddy to also have his way with her. But it gets worse. Word on the street is that the STD infection that Rihanna was rumored to have gotten from JayZ was actually given to her by Diddy after he made her participate in some wild freak-offs. The first person to spill the tea about the STD was Jaguar Wright, and she claimed that the STD Rihanna had was the real reason Chris Brown put his hands on her. Jaguar said when Chris went over to Rihanna's place to confront her about the STD, he caught her, getting her back blown by a popular mogul in the industry, and now people are speculating that the mogul in question was the diddler. Now, the reason Aubrey O'Day has all of this tea is because she also went through her own share of BS with Diddy, and even admitted not too long ago that Diddy tried to trap her and the other girls of Danity Kane. Aubrey was a part of a girl group called Danity Kane. This group was under Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment after he found them and set up the group on his MTV show, Making the Band. Now, as expected, these girls were happy to get signed to Diddy because they thought he was gonna make them the next big thing in the industry, but it quickly became clear to them that that wasn't gonna happen when Diddy started humiliating them for his own entertainment. The rest of the girls were scared to stand up to him, but Aubrey wasn't, and Diddy gave her a really hard time for it.
Want to look like though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown at me. Whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big, makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about. For real. Like, maybe you just don't get me.
According to Aubrey, Diddy would pit them against each other to cause misunderstandings in the group so that he could have better control over them. If he was able to break them apart, then it would be easier for him to control them and have them see each other as a competition instead of a team.
Stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are fucking insane.
Aubrey also said Diddy used to body shame the hell out of them by picking their bodies apart and making unflattering comments about how they looked. He would make a big deal about them gaining weight, and if ever they tried doing another hairstyle without informing him first, he would not let them hear the last of it. He treated them like his personal dolls and controlled every aspect of their life. And of course, the only one who had the guts to stand up to him was Aubrey.
It's everything you could imagine why somebody would want to fire somebody. I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good-looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights. So
Aubrey said Diddy would also try to convince the girls into freak-off activities against their will and would brutally, verbally, and psychologically mistreat them when they rejected his freak-off advances. In fact, Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Dill, said he overheard Diddy talking about how he was gonna drug the girls and pimp them out to his guys to have their way with them.
And I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm gonna their ass off and pimp them out and pimp them out to my, he said, I'm gonna them out. I'm gonna get them all on, and I'm gonna put their ass out to my, I was like, killed somebody's kids and walked out. And it's somebody that heard me. It's somebody that heard me. I mean, well, it's not only somebody that heard me, it's somebody that I know who was in the studio at the time that happened, and I still talk to him today. And we were just talking about that the other day. He done moved back to Indiana. I don't know why. I'm gonna give you that one. He said he was gonna them all out and pick them out.
Well, it turns out that around the same time he was trying to turn Aubrey and her group members to Jay had handed him Rihanna, and Aubrey got to see firsthand some of the wild things Diddy had Rihanna doing. If y'all remember, there were rumors going around back in the day that JayZ slept with 17-year-old Rihanna before signing her to Def Jam. Apparently, he promised to give her a record deal, and in exchange, she basically became his work mistress. At the time, JayZ was president of Def Jam, so he had the power to either make or break Rihanna's career, and Rihanna was well aware of that. This tea was spilled by Rihanna's publicist at the time, and the news spread quickly like wildfire. It got worse when Rihanna herself recalled how Jay would lock her up in his office till 3 a.m. in the morning. Rihanna revealed during an interview with Tyra Banks, and people are convinced till this day that Tyra brought it up because she had heard about what Jay did and wanted Rihanna herself to expose him on national television. Rihanna was visibly uncomfortable and tried her best not to give too much information on what happened, but Tyra kept pushing it. Take a look at this and judge for yourself.
But tell me about your audition with JayZ. Tell me what he said to you.
A really good audition.
Yes.
But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh, yes. He said, we don't sign songs here. We sign artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with JayZ, you met Beyonce.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
I could not speak.
Really?
Really. That's someone I really looked up to for a long time. And it was after one of my showcases, and he was introducing me to everyone from the label. Then he finally said, okay, one more person. And there she was. And I could not speak.
And she gave you some advice.
Yes, she did. She just told me to, when I get on stage, let loose, have fun, and be in control.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to let it go.
No.
Because, she'd be like, what? You know how she does it. But we're going to be hooking up the whole audience with your CD.
Oh, thank you!
Now, people believe that the real reason the story disappeared was because JayZ used his power to make this story disappear before it could get any bigger. The publicist, who even revealed this mysteriously, came back and backtracked on everything. He said by claiming it was all a PR stunt that I did was out of desperation to help break Fun to Replay. He also added it was reckless and I didn't think it was gonna work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. But a lot of people didn't believe this at all because they feel like Jay threatened the publicist to take back everything he said. These rumors got even worse when Jaguar Wright stepped into the chat and revealed that JayZ gave Rihanna an STD, which she also ended up giving to Chris Brown.
Never signed no paperwork.
Okay, you never signed no paperwork.
I just didn't want to put my family's life on the line.
JayZ gave her the herpes that she gave to Chris Brown. Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started with her and signed to the Def Jam.
Jaguar didn't go into details about the alleged STI Rihanna infected Chris with, but in her latest interview, she didn't hold back from spilling all the tea. Apparently, Chris knew Jay was hooking up with Rihanna, but her infecting him with herpes was where he drew the line.
How long are you guys gonna hold on to Chris Brown and beating Rihanna? You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand why people keep talking about that. It was forever ago. They were both very young, and he had just had his first herpes outbreak from her giving him the herpes.
According to Jaguar, the herpes infection is what triggered Chris to get aggressive with Rihanna that night. Not only did she get Chris infected, but when Chris pulled up on her in Mistress's house to talk to her about the situation, he saw her having another man's wood in her mouth and sucking it.
Night, when he had that outbreak and he busted in the Davis's house and said, "Where the is this dirty jet?" I can't fault him for that. He had this is beautiful, oh, wonderful. Chris Brown, she didn't ruin him. She ruined him at 19 years old. He's got the JayZ herpes. And it's unfair, because now that's a part of his story. And Rihanna ain't innocent, because she was in there giving that blow in the closet when Chris Brown came in. He said, "You always fucking something." Then he said, "I'm fucking done with you," and he stormed out of Chris' house, got into his very expensive car, and Rihanna chased after him. She gets in the car and started fighting on him because he embarrassed her for calling her and saying in front of everybody that she gave him the herpes at his house the night before the Grammys. She in the car trying to fuck him up. They're speeding on the Pacific Coast Highway, and you know Pacific Coast Highway, very steep. She could have killed the both of them fighting him while he was trying to just get the fuck away from her. Because Lord knows he couldn't get away from the herpes.
Oh.
And he hit her back. Calm down. And all of this is happening while he's doing damn near 100 miles per hour in a sports car on Pacific Coast Highway while he's still trying to register that he is beautiful Chris Brown and his is now trash at 19.
My.
Because he got set up with a that was in a who gave her herpes. And that's what happened. And people wonder why I speak up for Chris Brown. That's why. And if I'm lying, all of them can sue me, even you, Riri.
Jaguar also said Jay and Rihanna decided to switch up the whole story and give a different account of what happened so the truth wouldn't be exposed.
And then they sat there and JayZ and them get on the radio and they talk shit about that little boy. And then they put together that whole sham and then have him arrested on the red carpet just to make sure America hated him for defending himself against that crazy. I mean, she's sexy as shit, and she's pure, and she has all of my respect when it comes to the game. But you ruined Chris Brown's life, and you knew you ruined his life, and the only reason you did it was because your JayZ told you to, so that he could cover up the fact that he started you at 14 when he was damn near 30 years old.
And in case you're wondering where Jaguar got all this tea from, she claims she was at the party that night and literally saw the whole thing go down.
The situation.
That's what the happened that night, and I know because I was at the party. It was the last kiss the pinky ring party I ever went to.
So as y'all can see, it looks like we've been getting lied to this whole time. There was more to this story than we initially thought, but none of us ever knew because Jay made sure to cover it all up. There was also Foxy Brown, who just like Rihanna, Jay allegedly got in her pants when she was still underage. It has also been alleged by several people, including Jaguar Wright, that he impregnated Foxy and gave her an STD.
She deaf because she had the syphilis because she never got all them venereal disease treated. Y'all should go back and talk to all of the niggas that she slept with in Philly when she was in Philly. She burned every last one of them.
But here's the thing, y'all. Word on the street is Aubrey had been alleging behind the scenes that Rihanna was passed over to Diddy by Jay, and that's really where she got those infections from. It's unclear if this is true or where exactly Aubrey got this info from, but a lot of people believe her because she was around Diddy a lot and got to see some of the things he did. So if Rihanna really did anything with him, she would know. As usual, people had their own thoughts, like this person who said, "I don't know, in my head, Rihanna giggles sound more like if I went to the freak-offs. Dude, I was the star one year and that's why I'm so powerful now, LOL." Another person said, "It makes a lot of sense because signing a 16-year-old from Barbados with weak vocals just didn't add up. He signed her because she's pretty, then put his influence behind her career by getting her vocal training, good songs, and producers. He's definitely a predator." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Rihanna allegedly getting touched by Diddy? And do y'all think Jay was responsible for giving her to Diddy? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.